Sean here from the Gray Curtain. I'm going to be showing you some mics on the snare drum today, the first of which you'll probably be pretty familiar with, and the other two might be new to you. So we're going to start with the Shure SM57. Everyone who's done any recording, I'm sure, has owned at least one of these and has used it on probably far more audio sources than they should have. I actually personally don't like using the SM57, but I know lots of people who love using it. I just personally find that there's usually a better mic for most everything. For me, I don't find it has enough of the top end, but that's just a personal preference of mine. It definitely certainly has a lot of bite on the guitar cab. If I were to use it on a guitar cab, I would definitely want to add a second mic. If I were to use it on a snare, I would definitely want to add a second mic there as well. Although traditionally I do usually do top and bottom miking on snares. The second mic is this Audix i5, which you can see is fairly similar in size. This mic definitely has a lot less of that kind of mid-rangey bite compared to the SM57. It has a lot more, I feel it has more top end, and I think on the last Gray Curtain album, I believe that we may have used this mic. I've kind of gone back and forth a little bit between using this microphone and on some more recent recordings that I haven't put out yet, using a Beta 57, which I like the Beta significantly more than the SM57. But the Audix i5 is a pretty good mic. If I were to use just one mic on a guitar cab, and it was not metal guitar, but maybe more rock guitar, I would definitely lean towards this. If I were to use just one mic on a snare, I would use this one over the SM57. And finally, the mic that we're going to be playing with, and this is a mic I've never used before today on the snare. This is an EV mic. This is the ND44. As you can see, the kind of structure of it, the layout is somewhat similar to the Sennheiser E604, for those of you guys familiar with that. Obviously, this mic has a detachable clip, whereas the SM57, the Sennheiser E604 is just one unit. So I could pull this clip here off. But it's got this little built-in attachment piece, which is kind of useful. You can just kind of throw it on the snare. You don't have to worry about having a stand there, which is especially great on live applications. This little piece here moves. You got this really sturdy metal screw here for loosening and tightening this up. Obviously, the microphone can rotate in this direction, and this unit here can rotate as well. It can rotate in this direction by 90 degrees, or in the other direction by, it seems like, about 45 degrees. So obviously it needs to have that much kind of control over positioning, since you're going to be attaching it to the snare drum directly instead of putting it on a stand. So let me throw these on my snare, and then I'll give it a listen and we'll see what I think. All right, so what did I think of the mics? With the snare off test, I definitely thought that the i5 was the winner there. Just that might just be personal preference, but that's just what I thought. I thought it had a lot more of a full sound. On the snare on without a drum beat, I thought I liked the i5 there as well. On both of those, I thought the EVs did pretty well. I just, maybe personal preference or bias, I kind of like the i5 in those cases. Pretty much what I had thought in those cases where the SM57 had a lot more bite. If you're going for more of a metal sound, that probably would do better for you. If you're doing more of a rock and roll sound, I think the i5 or even the EV mic would do better. The EV mic seemed a little bit more of kind of like an in-between kind of mic between the two as far as frequency response. Once we got into the drum beat, I would actually say that the i5 may have been a little bit of a loser there, just because there was just so much bleed and so much extra ring from the snare going on. On that one, I actually probably would go with the EV because it still had a bit more of the frequency response range, but it seemed to control the bleed and the extra ring from the snare better. So that's what I thought. Maybe you guys thought something different. Let me know, post a comment, and we'll talk to you soon.